All right, before I get going this morning, we're just going to look at some of the offspring that's in that's around us. Jack Black. Okay, Jack Black. Okay, Jack is going to be the sun. Okay, Black is going to be Saturn. Okay, he's an offspring of this entity that's surrounded us. If you'll watch The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, when Al Pacino's talking to him in the subway, he tells him, he goes, "You need to learn this route." He said, "Fit in, lay low, and act like you don't exist." So they give you hints on what's going on. Now remember, the names don't mean anything. The names are just for documentation in a slave system. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, hang on. All right. So remember, we've been stuck on the sevens, right? You know what I mean? We've been stuck on the sevens. Okay, look. So in Satanic Gematria, Black Magic last name is 777. Okay? Now, Black Magic words is what? 666. And see, 777. You see the 343? That's the seventh cube. That's 7 times 7 times 7. Okay, the CDC. C is the third letter, D is the fourth, so it's 343. Remember, I told you the world is numbers. So it's a fucking demon. The big demon. It's what it is. It's fucking demons. So what we have is Black Magic last name is 777. That has to do with the cube. And then Black Magic words are 666. So what you have is, okay, your conscience is in prison. And see, we're in this cube. This is a cube right here. It is. It's a cube. So the way that they fit in is they raise their offspring, okay, around us. And you morph into them. That way, when somebody comes to you like me and talks about names and how it's pure slavery, they just can't see. Names are not real. So to sell this, okay, these demons, you got to understand how big this is. So they come through this life and live fake lives with fake names. They know it's not real. They only have that to continue the harvesting of these souls. You understand? They literally live lives like they're for Jesus, and they're not. They're to lead this of an aggregate congregation into the abyss. You know you realize how fucking deep that is? Do you understand that? That's some obedience right there. Okay? It's nothing but obedience. And it's very, very, very crucial that you can see these numbers for what they are. Because see, why would you need to see an ad of some? It's not real. The pictures are black magic. Okay, if you take the billboards down, these Christian goy will go crazy. So that means that they're not Christian. They're not of God. They're just a vehicle. The anatomy is a vehicle. And they're driven by impulses from this telekinesis. It goes in them and tells them to go do that shit and disregard anybody that's trying to wake them up. You understand? So when they create these towns and these cities, there's already bloodlines. And the smaller ones, no, it don't mean nothing because they're ignorant. But to sell this system of the biggest fucking demon slavery ever, you need to think about them sitting around and speaking out loud and talking about how, to sell this, we have to be part of it. You understand? So once you can see that like this thing, all of its little soldiers literally obey. They live false lifestyles and then die. They hold your hand and pray over your family members, claiming Jesus is, it's disgusting. And these goy will not question that. They can't. They can't, because the whole thing is you're designed from birth to create a connection with a character. Okay? And a lot of people will say grew up watching Jack Black. Okay? Real quick, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. That's the Cancer sign, water sign. Jack is the sun, Jill is the moon. Jack fell down, broke his crown, that's Capricorn, which would be Saturn. Okay, Jack and Jill. You've got Jack's restaurant that sells chicken. And it's a red dot circle. Target's a red dot. Coke's a red dot. Zaxby's is a red dot. It's funny how it's red dots everywhere. It's because it's bullshit. It's black magic. Do you understand? And then you've got Mike I.L. Jackson, Jax, and then On is the city of Heliopolis, the city of the sun in Scripture. And it talks about that was a long time ago when there was a border going through the middle, and it talks about Scripture. It was north and south kings, whatever. But that's the whole thing is Jack's on, Jack's son. See, we're in the age of Mike I.L., so you had Michael Jordan, Michael Bolton, the 80s commercials. Mikey likes it, give it to Mikey. American Chopper, what was his name? Mikey. You got all these movies and everybody's names. Michael, Mike, Lucille, Lucy, Lucius, Luke, Skywalker, that's the sun, and Darth Vader is Saturn. It's what it is. And seeing all those characters are those up there. So the whole thing is when you upload cubes of black magic, sevens, not only are you enslaved black magic through your name, but also through what you eat, drink, and everything. All right, look, sort of like how Blavatsky channeled all this information, supposedly, in which she did. She channeled this information, but she was influenced only to a certain point. So she was influenced in the wrong way. And sort of how, and I'm just using her as an example, sort of how, like what came through her was influenced by these brotherhoods, these hidden brotherhoods. These brotherhoods have not influenced me. So the gematria coming through me is no different than what came through her in a way, only this is a little more powerful, because this has to, like, she was trying to get into the eighth sphere and stuff, but she didn't have, you've got to go to certain videos and watch. I'm going to give you one right here before I leave. Let's see. All right. You need to go find that one right there. That one. That one right there. You need to watch that one or listen to it. And then you need to listen to From Limestone to Lucifer. And then Past and Future Impulses and Social Events. Nature and Spirit Beings. From Sunspots to Strawberries. Those will take a couple of weeks. Okay, but let me finish with this. Okay, what was going on with Steiner and Blavatsky and Besant, and see, the books were created in order to trap what we have inside of us. So, you know, some of these literature produced 100 years before Besant and Steiner and all that, they already knew that something was going to pop out as a result of those books. But with what was in those books, they're going to be able to control what's in the brain. Do you understand? This is deep shit. So Steiner, it came through him. Okay? And when you know what's going on, Besant's Jesuit, Blavatsky controlled by these Jesuits. So then they condition her, they control these newspapers, and then they go at him and produce mass stories of lies and deception, just like now. He even talked about it, how these Jesuits are writing articles about me in the newspapers. It's fucking stupid. It's like, why would you even write something about somebody? Well, that's to character assassinate them. Because what he had was coming. You know, but see, the thing is they couldn't do nothing except slander him, sit back, and do what they've done. You have no idea of how much is in the universities and the churches and the schools that he produced. But it's been manipulated and flipped upside down into where it's bad. There's no soul and spirit in it. They've turned it into the opposite. And that's what real evil that controls the other side and here does. You know, that's what I was trying to tell you. This is bigger than Matt. Okay? We're giving you shit to where they literally introduce stuff in literature and give it a century and then sit back and come in and then fuck it all up. And then sit back for another century. And then for another century. That's what I'm saying. A day to the most of the goy. What they see in a day is what I'm seeing, you know, for a century. You know, that brings back the ruler shit. You know, because in Germany, before all that bullshit happened with the war, he's the only one that prayed for all of them. He prayed every lecture because he knew what was going on. He knew what's in him was telling, look, this is what they're doing. These souls are going over there with forces. See, when you send forces over there with pure materialism and you know, right at 21, 18 to 21, every one of those souls is an ingredient. Okay? It's big. All right? But I just wanted to tell you just some of this stuff. Any actor is not real. They've either been indoctrinated or controlled. The big ones are offsprings. Like Tool with Maynard, he's an offspring. If you'll listen to his music, like Opiate. Let's see. Let's see. No, it ain't that one. There's a song he's got in the very beginning in the chorus. It talks about how you raise the dead from muddy waters. Okay, Steiner talks about, what's in Steiner's talked about that part of evolution. Okay, how the air is not what you thought it's when the elements were more together and it was more liquidy and thick. Okay, there's no breathing like what you think now. And out of that thick fucking muddy shit raised the dead, which would be Saturn. Okay, because when we're looking at this as true evolution, Earth evolution's over. She's a corpse now. Humans didn't show up until the end of the Earth evolution. That's it. Okay, so when Earth ended, we showed up. Atlantis and all that shit's real, but black magic destroyed it. But that's how long it's been in black magic. If it destroyed it, it didn't go no fucking where. It's just like with Germany. Okay, when you have the best fucking equipment and best so-called everything, you don't lose. You don't go to Russia and then die because it's cold. You're so smart, you're building rockets and all this crazy shit, but you didn't factor in, oh, they're going to freeze to death. They marched them up there, these Jesuits, to fucking die. Sacrifice. So you got to look at those early 1900s too, as all those souls going across with zero fucking any kind of forces that comes from true nature. And those same souls were there during the Black Plague and all that. So that's what we're saying. These souls coming into this world are already mentally fucking challenged. And then you throw the screen in front and then they're dumber. And then they're not even a human. It's not real. They're harvesting us. It's that easy. I gotta go. I love you.